Shalom, 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 beloved angelic family and Gentiles. Well, today we're going to talk about Ray 2, the children of the Mighty One. Let's get it. So, we're going to start with the Seven Rays Made Visual book. I actually looked up the etymology for the word love and couldn't really find anything, regarding the date as far as when it came into being with, Hebrews. I see where, the word love was put together using different letters, Hebrew letters, but I didn't really get the origin based on what I was looking for. Anyway, Ray 2 is the ray of the Lord of love and wisdom. And really, I don't know, based on what I've been studying, love and wisdom, two completely different things. And wisdom kind of, for me, goes into the third ray as well, because when you're looking at active intelligence, that's the ruach, and in she comes with the wisdom. So I guess with the children of the mighty one, the wisdom starts beginning in the second ray. I don't know if I've called this ray the ray of love, or if I would put something else in it as far as a different quality of being, something that's unique, because we know that the Gentiles and the Psalms 83 nations pushed that Christianity nonsense off, and they based that whole thing on love, 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 love. So I wouldn't say that this Ray 2 was so much instilled in love as it was instilled in knowing. Knowing not only the mighty one, but knowing yourself, getting in touch with the spiritual portion of who you are as you relate to being a child of the mighty one. And the reason that I really believe that this ray has more to do with the mighty one, and then, you, the child of the mighty one, the children of the mighty one, becoming more in touch with um, the self and the will of the mighty one. I think that's when everything, within the spiritual self starts to happen. In esoteric astrology book, um, Alice Bailey says, the second ray knows itself as a transmitting will, because through its means something passes between the pair of opposites, spirit and matter, which draws them together until eventually they form one blended whole. This is a basic mystery, the basic mystery of initiation, and concerns the at wanting or atoning with will, which functions through the love for the mighty one. And that's what this emotional tie or so-called feeling of love is, where it attaches, as far as the second ray transmitting the will, which means that you love the mighty one enough that you're going to transmit his will to do his laws, the things that we were told to do. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you love the mighty one, you keep his commandments, in spite of everything else that goes on around us. You use your willpower to keep his commandments, kind of like what we're doing right now with the fast. We're using the willpower within us to show the mighty one, that we're committed to this transition, transmuting this power and doing his will and becoming at one with him and making at one with him. Okay, Gentiles put this atonement together, but it really is at one means that you're coming together with the mighty one to do his will. Now, this really kind of states it all. Its lowest expression and its most material symbol is the love between the sexes. Okay, and this is what this whole Christianity thing is based on. It has nothing to do with the mighty one, and I'm going to show you that. So this whole situation with the Antichrist, I've made this video last week, and I was really angry about it, and I really had to, pray about this whole thing, and just kind of sit back for the week. And then I decided this morning that I would redo this video because there is so much going on, with what we've been thrown into. And it's hard to wrap the mind around the wickedness, the lies, the deception, everything. And so I had to take just some time to step back. And it was because of this second ray that really kind of opened some things up for me. This whole Antichrist situation. First of all, there's no such thing as an Antichrist. This is all something made up by the Gentiles and the Psalms 83 nations. Putting it out there, there's no such thing. Because the Gentiles are the one that brought that Jesus creature over here and mass murdered our ancestors to beat that crap down our throats. Okay? It was a whole brainwashing situation. They made it seem as though this stringy-haired, blue-eyed creep was the only begotten son of the mighty one. And that's a whole big lie. Just a huge, huge deception upon our people. It's the same way as this situation with the anti-Semitic. These people have found a way to give themselves significance when they're of absolutely no significance whatsoever. They created this Antichrist situation to build around the church. And then this anti-Semitic thing to build around this group of people. Noah had 3 sons. Okay? Yafet, Shem, and Ham. Okay? 3 sons. He didn't have 4. He didn't have a son named Sem. Okay? Semihauser. He didn't have 4 sons. Not that we know of. There were 3 sons. So these people have created paradigms in order to give themselves credence when they have absolutely none. There is no such thing as an antichrist. You actually have to be anti the children of the mighty one, because this whole antichrist figure is formulated around one wicked person, one wicked identity, which gave the Gentiles in the Psalms 83 nations free will to go kill people that didn't bend to their will. That's what that was all about. And now this whole anti-Semitic thing is built around the same situation. It's a way to give people credence who have none. There is no reason to be mad about an antichrist. There's no reason to be mad about an anti-semi. Okay? It's a semi truck, semi house, semi something. Okay? It's nothing. It's that's your nothingness right there. There's no antichrist. We have been duped into the biggest lie, biggest fraud upon our people. This Christianity wrapped up in a blonde-haired, blue-eyed package. The Mighty One didn't have an only begotten son. He had children, sons and daughters, star seeds, males and females. If there was only one son, there would have been no reason to have an Eve. It would have just been, well, you can't have an Adam without an Eve. I'm just saying. The chicken before the egg type of thing. The problem with our people, we're still stuck in the paradigm, all of these situations that the Gentiles and the Psalms 83 nations collaborated to give us. We have to step out of that. We have to separate our thinking, our actions from that. All of those things that were planted in us. This whole situation about Jesus, I got issues with that because I know brethren think that there's nothing wrong with using that name. You can call, you know, the Hamashiach, you can call him Jesus, and that's just great. It's not. It's not. It's not. That beast, that creature is the identity, the image, name that was given to us to mass murder our ancestors. I don't think that our ancestors would take very much of us or think too kindly of us about giving any homage or any acknowledgement to that creature at all. Because I feel some kind of way about it myself. I do. In that first video I did, I was very angry. Very, very angry. But Lex Will, shout out to Lex Will, because I don't listen to all of his videos. But this last video that he did, I listened to, and it was a very good video, and it gave me a lot to think about. And if you guys have an opportunity, go watch that video. He did a video called This is Judgment, Ezekiel 1 through 3. If you guys get a chance, go to his website and watch that video because it was very good, and it talked about some things that I knew about, but I hadn't really put it together the way that he did. And then there's a guy, that video is about 2 hours and 47 minutes, okay? It was a long video, but it's worth watching. At about 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think it is, there's a young brother on there that talks about the vision that he had about going to heaven, and he talks about the rays and the colors and his experience and how his leg, something that happened to his leg. I had that experience once. I don't know if it was astral projection. I don't know what it was, but I had a similar situation happen to me, and I saw all of the colors and the spirals and all of these different things, and my hand looked like it was in another dimension or something. It just looked really weird, but this brother had a very similar experience with all the colors and everything. And this is, what's happening now with the rays, all of the light colors that are coming through. But if you guys get a chance, listen to that video, because even though it's 2 hours and 47 minutes, it is well worth listening to. We have been, a great deception have been put upon us. This antichrist thing is a complete lie from the pits of hell. There is no such thing as an antichrist. These people are anti the children of the mighty one. That's what they are. Okay? It's an anti seed of the mighty one. They are against our seed. They are against that 9 ether seed. That's what they're against. It's not an antichrist situation. They're against us. This has nothing to do with some stringy-haired, blue-eyed, Caucasian, gay dude that parades around on the picture, that they brainwashed us with. And the reason I don't use that name is because I had a dream, and the name of Hamashiach was in that dream, and I never used that name anyway. Not as something that I tied me to it, because even when I was really young, and I was raised in a holiness church from the time that I can remember, 8, 7, 8, 9 years old. I can remember, and I remember them having us sit down, calling out Jesus, 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 and people foaming at the mouth. And I could never understand these people foaming at the mouth, because it never happened to me. And I just never understood. My spirit just never was set right with that whole thing. Something was wrong with that. So the best thing that you can do for yourself and for our ancestors is to get out of using that name, identifying with that, giving that creature any kind of significance. Because the reason that these things have power, these creatures continue to have power, is because we continue to give them an identity. Okay? There's no antichrist. There's no anti-Semitism. All that's anti-bull garbage is what it is. It was created to give people significance who have none and should have none with us. We got people who still watch their calendar, who still watch their time. Why? Why? I don't get it. Go not into the way of the heathens. Go not into the way of the Gentiles. Why are we keeping, we had no time before, so why are we keeping these people time? I don't, what? I get so confused when I hear some of these videos, and our brethren you that are supposed to be awakened, and they're still clinging on to non-existent crap because they're giving it life. When you feed something, and when you bite into something, you feed it, you give it energy, you give it life, you keep it moving. Stop. just just stop. If you're awakened, wake up and be awake. Stop giving. Still got people talking about thermonuclear war and 5-month war and all this garbage. Oh my God. Oh, it's just wake up. Just wake the hell up. Now I want to go into the second ray. This is the ray of the seed of the children of the mighty one. You can't be a child of the mighty one if you're stuck on Jesus, because you've not formulated a relationship with the mighty one. The first ray is the ray of will of power. That is the ray of the Father, the ray of the Mighty One. The second ray is the Christ, what they call the Christ, but it's not Christ. It's the seed of the children of the source, the great spirit, the heavenly Father. The children of the third ray, the Ruach. See, all of this works so that there's clarity. The lords of these rays, they all have a job to do, just like everything in the cosmos, the planets, the solar winds, the astrological signs, the constellations, everything cosmic has something to do, which is the reason we were given these jobs here on the earth. Okay? Because everybody has a function. When everything was named, the Mighty One gave energy to everything, and it was named. Every name meant something. Okay? So in the first and second books of Aki, Book of Remembrance, we learn the names of the Erica de Doishi and the fallen angels, right? And we also learn that their elements, their names, and what they represented. Fire is Dibarael, the word of the Mighty One. Anoki said. Repentance to reproach, sing love song, and repent of all sins, body of the Father. So we know that all of these names mean something, okay? And I think what angered me more when I was doing the last video was because shortly afterwards, I realized the lie about this Jesus character and what they were doing, and the fact that I had a book that I was using, and it was published in 2011, and they perverted the book still using this name. And then as I was doing further research, I realized that the word Jesus meant earth pig. SUS is pig. And I'd seen that a long time ago. And the Gentiles have kind of, tried to scrap it and disappear it from the web, because things that you could readily find, you can't hardly find it now because they're trying to cover up, all of the wickedness that they've been doing and everything that was out there that only they knew, but we're discovering now. And so I was looking in this other book, and it just kind of threw me off guard because I was using this book for this video, and to realize that the same wickedness that they've been doing then, they're still using the same brainwashing crap for us. It doesn't change. So in this book, The Over Self Awakening, I was going to the back of the book to look at the vocabulary because there was a word I wanted to look up. So, but the page stopped on this page 363, and I looked at this image and it just pissed me off. I'm going to put it right there. It really did. I was so mad when I saw this because this book is copyrighted 2011. And here it is, they have the triumph of the divine image. And I looked and they had Jesus, Yahushua. Now you can't say now that this is why I said, people think names aren't important. They are important. They're very important because every time you say this name, there's an image. This image was brainwashed into our people for a long, long time, hundreds of years. So you can't say that there's nothing to the name. There's a lot to the name. And then when I started reading this, only thing they did is they changed his hair from this stringy looking stuff. He still looks weird. And then put this other guy back here to the left that they call him Melchizedek. See, we got more Caucasians. And then now we got this other one, to the left, Metatron. And they all Caucasian. See? The brainwash continues. These people try to act as though they don't know what's going on. And then our people want to jump in there and they still want to fall in line with this garbage and these pictures and the triumph of there's no triumph here. And the triumph comes because we still give energy to these people because of the fact that we still use this beast's name. And there's nothing in the name. There is something in the name. There's energy. Every time this name is used, it's energy because there's an image that goes with it. I don't understand why this is so difficult to other people. There's energy that goes into this when you use this name. And then they put this in this book, The Triumph of the Divine Image. I couldn't even post the video. I was so mad because I started a video about the second ray, the children of the mighty one. That's what this video was supposed to be about. So I'm going to try to do this video. I have a lot of emotions about it now that I know the truth about the Antichrist and anti-Semitism and all this. Now that I know the truth about what the basis was for that, I'm going to try to do this based on what's really happening with the children of the mighty one. This is about Ray 2. And Ray 2 is about the love towards the, the mighty one. And then it transitions to incorporate the wisdom from the Ruach. So you have your Ray 1, which is will and power, the will and power of the mighty one. Then you have Ray 2, which comes about because of your spiritual connection with the mighty one, doing what he told us to do, obeying those laws, to put nothing before him. Okay, keeping those orders that he gave us to put nothing before him. no graven images or anything. And this is what was done to us. We were given all this information in order to keep these images and to keep us from the energy of Ray 2 and connecting with the energy to Ray 1 that deals with our beloved Heavenly Father. Okay? So once we've come to the knowledge and know that we are the seeds, the children of the Mighty One, and that there's nothing in between us, then we transition, we transmit that energy to the Father, and then that energy is transmuted to the Ruach, and that's where the wisdom begins, and the active intelligence is built upon that knowledge. These are the first three rays of aspect. Ray 1, the will or power. Ray 2 is love and wisdom. And then Ray 3, the active intelligence. These rays are controlled by lords of light, okay? Energies of light. And our ascension occurs through each step of these lords of light. And we go, once we start with the Ruach, with the active intelligence, start on the spiritual path, then it opens up those rays of attributes. And those attributes tie in with all of the rays of aspect and the rays of attribute. They tie into the astrology, the esoteric astrology. So our attributes, even though we're born under one sign, as we become more spiritual and the knowledge opens up and we grow, we get the energy from the other planets, from the other signs. This is the reason why each sphere or chakra does not just have one color. See, we were told that, but it's not true. Because as we grow and we develop, as we develop as the seed of the Mighty One, as the great source, the great power, even though we were born under one sign, we start transitioning and transforming and taking in the positive energies of all the signs. That's how we grow. And we do that because we get to know thyself. Through each ray, we get to know ourselves because whatever force or energy is coming through those rays, when they hit us, we're going to either respond in a positive way or a negative way. Okay? So it's important that we know ourselves. It's important that we know our astrological signs and we start by that energy, because the energy as it comes through the planets and it transmits, transfigures, transforms, and it hits the earth, it affects us in some kind of way. And depending on how we've grown and we know ourselves will determine how we are affected. It's not just the star seeds that are and the earth seeds that are going to be affected by these rays. Everyone is. Everyone who has the spirit of the Mighty One. okay? Because there are people who pretending to be something that they're not on this earth, and they have different DNA, and I'm gonna go into that again because I found some other information. And so it's important that we learn these things. And now to find out that we have a birth ray and a life ray, that was strange because I didn't know that. Maybe, someone within the nation knew that, but I didn't know that because these I told you guys when I started awakening in 2017, I can tell you I was comatose because I didn't have any knowledge about any of this stuff. I had a lot of Gentile knowledge about garbage, but none of this. So with Ray 2, when we're talking about the Lord of love and wisdom and how that ray energy affects us, it says that it's the embodiment of pure love. That pure love is the love for the mighty one. This is all spiritual. This has nothing to do with anything about carnal or other people. Focus spiritually. This life instills into all forms the quality of love for the mighty one. Symbolically, this Lord of the second ray is occupied with formulating the plan upon which the forms must be constructed and the dynamic idea of the star seed is materialized. He is the master builder. I'm not going to use that Christ identity anymore because the mighty one didn't give us that. We are his children. That's who we are. We are the seeds of the mighty one. That Christ image and symbol, Christianity and all that, that was all made up by Gentiles. That's their stuff. We are the children of the mighty one. So the constellations that deal with Ray 2 is Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and the planet is Jupiter. Okay? So when those energies come from the galactic sun, they go through Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. Those constellations create a different type of energy, force, and then they push that energy through Jupiter. All three of the energy of forces, they go through Jupiter. Each one carries something different with it based on those the signs of that constellation. There's some type of energy that comes through from each one of those. I'll do that in the next video. And it goes through Jupiter. Once it goes through Jupiter, then it transmutes through our sun, and then it comes to the earth. So it's all about the frequency. And like I said before, if a lot of the energy came right off of the galactic sun and hit the earth, many would not survive. In fact, none of us would probably survive. Okay, because we have X flares that are coming off the sun now. I can't even imagine what type of energy that is. So it has to go through the different planets, and it goes through those planets for different reasons. Okay. So whatever the reasons are, based on the constellation, and what those signs, astrological signs, transmit, what's going on at the time based on the sign and the month and the time and where everything is in the constellation depends on the force and the energy that goes to Jupiter. So the second ray, now we're going to learn that the second ray is a cosmic ray of our solar system. So in our present solar system, only one of the 7 cosmic rays is in operation. That's not true. Okay? That's not true. All of the rays are in operation. It's just right now we're in the Aquarian age and there's going to be a shift, and it has to do with this ray, this second ray of love. See, this ray has been within the solar system for a long time, but the Gentiles utilized it in a way that had nothing to do with anything spiritual. Okay? It was all based on their love of murder, their love of wickedness, their love of greed and theft. It was, that's the kind of love, that they were dealing with. But there's going to be a change now, and we're not going to no longer be dealing with that love. The love now is spiritual and is focused on the mighty one. There's our solar life or solar logos is on the second cosmic ray of love and wisdom. The 7 rays that function within our solar system are 7 subrays of the second cosmic ray. Okay, it's this subsystem, 7 subrays of the second cosmic ray, because at this time on the planet there are only 7 rays, which coincide with the colors in the rainbow. Okay, but there are many, many more rays, which is the reason that now we're seeing pink, colors of pink, different shades of green, different colors of red in the aurora borealis, because of the radiation and the energy that's coming to the planet. So what they've been trying to do with all of this spraying and putting stuff in the air is they're trying to stop these rays from coming to the earth to make this transition, because they're busy trying to make their own change to transition. They're trying to do the wickedness that they've always done in the past with these wars and everything, so that they can do it because they want a pole shift and not a magnetic reversal. So all of this wickedness and all these things that they're doing, they're trying to stop what's taking place right now. So they're trying to keep the different color of the rays from coming upon the earth. So yes, this second ray lord that's transmuting this ray right now, the rays that are here are sub rays to the other rays, because there are plenty more. So therefore, while functioning to a lesser degree as their cosmic prototype, and they're functioning to a lesser degree, the colors that are coming through in this aurora borealis, there's more radiation, and those colors are coming through with the force. And now these M flares and these X flares and all of these things are happening that they're trying to stop, and they can't stop it. So all 7, so therefore, while functioning to a lesser degree as their cosmic prototype, all 7 are always tinged with the powers of love and wisdom. No, they're not. All 7 are not. They have, well, maybe it is tinged. Tinged, I guess, is a word, smidgen, okay, of love and power, because we all know they're talking about something carnal, but what's happening is spiritual. So each one of these 7 subrays is an expression of a solar life and is a recipient and custodian of energies coming from 7 solar systems and 12 constellations. These seven rays embody seven types of force that demonstrate to us the seven qualities of the One. Okay? The seven qualities of the One. The qualities, seven qualities of the One. These seven rays embody seven types of force that demonstrate to us the seven qualities of the One. The One, to me, that's the Mighty One. It's His quality that we should be striving to obtain. If you love me, keep my orders, my commands. The seven differentiations of one great cosmic ray were effected within the very being of our solar logos before we began his creation. Therefore, we know that the divine spark, the divine center of consciousness within each of us, well, not within each of us, okay, comes from the highest principle of our solar logos and has within it the potentiality of all the rays. Therefore, we know that the divine spark, the divine center of consciousness within those of us who love the Mighty One, comes from the highest principle of our solar logos and has within it the potentiality of all the rays. Okay, each one is colored primarily by the special attributes of one or another of the cosmic rays because each subray is, in essence and effect, the same as the greater cosmic ray. Exactly, they just do things at different times. So the Lord of love, wisdom is in our solar system, the expression of the cosmic star seed, which is the embodiment of pure love, who instills into all forms the quality of love and is in our solar system the most potent of the seven rays. I don't know how true that is, but okay. Because it hasn't been potent enough to stop the Gentiles in the Psalms 83 from their deceptiveness and lies. So I can't imagine how potent it is. But when you're talking about dealing with spiritual beings and carnal beings, I guess there could be a difference in how the ray affects those beings who are soulless beings and those who are just full of wickedness. And then you have the spiritual beings. So, you know what? I guess it could be pretty potent, especially since a lot of us have managed to, find a way to hold on to some semblance of non hate toward the most wickedest people in the world. This Ray Lord expresses himself primarily through the planet Jupiter, which is his body of manifestation, originating in a star of the great bear or the great sheep or whatever. Gentiles have lied and changed so much, you just don't know. This ray life transmits its energies to our solar system through the constellation of Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces, which I said before, and I'll do a video about that and how it affects that constellation. At this time, the controlling factor is Virgo, which produces the increased activity of the star seed principle in the hearts of humanity, in hearts of the people who have a heart and who are able to live some semblance of humanity. We need to stop trying to talk like what's happening here affects everyone in a positive way, because it doesn't. Because if it did, we wouldn't have the lies, we wouldn't have the deceptive, the wickedness, the murders, everything, the eating flesh and stealing people's organs, so that you can make a meal out of it or make your potions or whatever to save your own wicked behinds. None of that would be going on. So we need to, acknowledge, the facts and the truth that what we're dealing with is a wickedness on a level, on an unprecedented level. And they do these things because they want this pole shift. They want another shift in the level of wickedness so that they can stay on top with their wickedness and bring a new wickedness on top. See, this is how wickedness works, and this is how narcissists think. In these two rays of will and love, we have the two main characteristics of the divine nature that lie latent behind all the myriads of forms. I, they say human beings. I'm going to say men beings are the custodians of that wisdom which will enable them to further the divine plan and bring to it fruition. And the reason I say men is because hue is based on colors. And before there we had this copper color skin and we breathed and didn't breathe in oxygen, the skin color was different. So this is talking about hue men, the original people that were on this planet before these creatures came to embody the earth and provide all of this wickedness. So let's stay with the hue. See, what they did was they put that word together to make it seem as though it applied to everybody. It does not. That certainly puts a great responsibility upon each of the men as a whole. But we also have the honor and privilege of being co-workers with our logos and objectifying his plan of creation. So we have to stick to the facts and stick to the truth. Everyone here on this planet does not walk around with humanity. Okay? There have been crimes against humanity, trafficking our children, hangings, eating our body parts, taking our blood, taking our organs, stripping the brain of the pineal gland, eating the brains. There's been a lot of things against humanity. You can't call these monsters humans. Even the 2/3 haven't gone that far. Okay? So you have a whole different level of people and things and beings and creatures and whatnot on this planet. So once we start looking at the reality of it, and then we can focus more on loving the mighty one and obeying what he told us to do and get away from all this carnality and loving all these monsters that are walking around here that some are wearing flesh, then we can get down to business, bring the frequency up and stay focused on the mighty one. Stay focused on the mighty one. Okay? Because we don't know what these creatures are. We know they're not human. We know there's no humanity in them. So the ray is not going to affect them in the same way. And depending on what they really are, it may not affect them at all, but the ray should affect everyone in some type of way, either positive or negative, whether it's a creature or a human, one of us, okay? So ray 2 is the ray of the master builder who is occupied with the first formulation of the plan upon which the forms must be constructed and the idea of the Most High materialized. There you go. Okay? This is what we're supposed to be doing. Materializing what the Most High, the mighty one, the source, the main source, the creator, what that, the Father, what he wants, divine mother, what the divine mother wants, all of this materialistic, carnal stuff, we need to move that from our spirits, from our minds, and focus more on the cosmos and the desires of what the mighty one, the divine mother wants us to do. Through him, through the mighty one, the blueprints come into being with their mathematical accuracy, their structural unity, and their geometrical perfection, which then makes the work of the actual builders possible. Okay, so this is where we are, but I wanted to give you guys something that was really funny when I found out about it, because I thought, wow, now it all makes sense. The color of this ray of Ray 2, the star seed, is blue. Blue. Project Bluebeam. It made me think of all this blue stuff, Blu-ray, Blu-ray TV, all of, you know, I gotta give them the credit where credit is due. They are some crafty creatures. Very, very crafty. The Project Bluebeam, all of this stuff that they did is because the ray that's functioning right now is blue. This ray of love and wisdom. You have your ray 1, which is red, which is the mighty one, the Father, and then the active intelligence, ray 3. At the time, that ray was transmitting yellow, but now it's transmitting white and yellow. Okay, it's not just yellow because it's coming through the sun, and our sun is now white. So that ray is transmitting white and yellow. And when you start seeing, you'll know when things have changed, really changed, when you start seeing more of the pinks, more of the mixture of the colors that we don't see, the primary colors of the rays of the rainbow. When you start seeing the different colors coming through, transmitting on the earth, you'll know what's going on, because that's what's supposed to happen, and that's what all of this spraying, because I did get beamed to me more than a year ago that they were trying to stop the cosmic rays, the new rays from coming to the earth. It said rays, but then I learned that it was the new rays. And this is why you're seeing all the new colors in the auroras, the aurora borealis, all these different colors coming through, because these are the other ray lords that are functioning through the constellations and emitting, transmitting their colors and their energy, their forces upon the planet. They may not hit us here, and they're hitting us in the North and South Pole, but they're hitting the earth. I mean, you can soon, many more, I'm hoping that many more of the brethren, the sister and the star seeds will start seeing, the ray energies, the plasma that's hitting the earth, because a couple days ago it was strong. And I heard Remedy H say that there was some different type of energy. And he's right, because yesterday I was sitting outside and I kept thinking something feels different. Is something different is going on, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I heard him say it this morning, I thought, you know what? He's right. It's right. I felt it yesterday, Tuesday. So there is definitely something new coming, something different coming, because I felt it yesterday. So he was right. the brother knew what he was talking about because I could not put my finger on it yesterday. And all of the particles, oh my gosh, we're being bombarded with the ray energies. We are being bombarded with the particles. And there is no stopping that, okay? So there's a lot transpiring on the earth right now. But I want to leave you guys with something. This video was really hard for me to do again, after doing it the first time, and I really wanted, to publish the first one, and at some point I may, but I wanted you guys to see and to take a different look. We are the star seeds, and this ray 2 energy that's coming through, it is the star seed energy, this ray lord of love and wisdom. This is not about a Christ, that whole Christ, Antichrist thing. This was all made up by the Gentiles in the Psalm 83 nation in order for them to push that Jesus creature. Okay, so we got to get off of that. We got to stop giving life to that, stop giving energy to that, and give energy to the fact that we are the star seeds, and we need to start getting this energy, increasing our energy, the frequency, and that this ray that's on the earth now, this blue ray, this blue star is here to bring the star seed energy of love and wisdom to help with the Ruach and this active intelligence, okay? So I want to leave you guys something. Of course, I always have something from Thought the Atlantean. This is from the section about the seven lords of light. Open thy souls to the brothers of brightness. Let them enter and fill thee with light. Lift up thine eyes to the light of the cosmos. Keep thou ever thy face to the goal. Only by gaining the light of all wisdom art thou one with the infinite goal. Seek ye ever the oneness eternal. Seek ever the light into one. All praises to the mighty one. Much love to the divine Ruach. And peace and grace to the Hamashiach. Shalom, 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 angelic star seeds and Gentiles.